the hour, the darkest place. Dark days in front of the devil's maze. It's a good world.
Let's see if we can get a quick little donut. Not too bad. We're working on the donut, the standing donut game, guys, and maybe wheelies to come soon, but I'll get a little video of that soon. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I mean, I don't know why, but I think that doing a standing burnout or like a standing donut on the Harley is like the coolest looking thing ever. Oh man, that's just, it gotta make you smile, you know. Back to the review.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. Thank y'all for hanging out. Today we are going to review my Saddlemen step-up seat I have on the Dyna. Now, I watched a lot of reviews on this thing and researched a lot about these seats before I purchased one because I definitely wanted to get the most comfortable seat out there and definitely have the lower back support, which this one does. But on top of reading a bunch of positive reviews and great things about this seat, I didn't see too many negative things about it. But I actually have a few negative or cons about this seat that I think everybody should know before they buy it. All right, so here she is in all her beauty. Now, this is a Saddlemen step-up for a 2002 Dyna, and it is the basic model, I guess you could say. It doesn't have the gel inserts or anything like that. This is just their traditional foam seat cushion with the leather. Now, this is the double diamond stitch, so it has the diamond stitch on the seat in the back area and also the diamond stitch on the upper area. It is the brown, as you can see. One interesting thing I noticed when I purchased this thing, there's actually two different color browns out there. There's a lighter one and a dark one, and I could never find the actual part number. I think it might have just been a variation in leather they had at one time. So I wanted the actual lighter brown one. It kind of looked more like a vintage brown, but I could not find it anywhere. So I think that was just a variation in their stock leather they had at some point. So that being said, I got the dark brown one. As you can see, it has your front hook for the frame, and then it has a tab that hooks up or bolts to your stock position on your fender mount. The bottom is, you know, tucked and rolled and rivet into a fiberglass pan, and it has the felt carpet on the bottom. Now you can see there is a little bit of wear showing already on the seat. Let's see if we can get a close-up on it right here where it hits the frame. A little bit of wear on it. And let's see, that's about it. So it's pretty clean, well made, very comfortable, and that is the close-up. You can see the passenger set up right here. Got lots of nice cushion. It's very firm. So with that being said, there's a close-up. Ciao, ciao. Looks pretty cool. They got one. There's the Saddlemen is only on one side. It's on the right side. I originally thought it was on both sides, but it's not. And you can, if you go on their websites, you can customize this thing as far as the coverings, pretty much however you want, like stitch color. They offer a gripper pad on the back, which is like kind of like a, not really neoprene, but more like a rubbery, really sticky back pad for the lower lumbar. And any kind of stitching you want, they offer a couple tuck and roll, they offer diamond, they offer smooth, several different options. All right, so now let's get this thing back on the bike and let's go for a ride.
So this is going to be my 1,000 mile review on the Saddlemen rider review. So I'm going to give you 3 pros and 3 cons about the Saddlemen Step Up. Starting with the first pro, the comfort. When I first bought the seat and first rode on it, I was like, oh, it's a little stiff. It's going to take a little bit to get used to. Within about 200 miles, that went away, and it was to the point where I didn't even notice the firmness of the seat anymore. It was just, super comfortable. So the foam that they use, like I said earlier, this is the standard, stock foam, I guess they put on it. I didn't get the gel insert, which, thinking back, I might have went that route, just depending on how thick the gel insert is. I could definitely see that being a little bit of a benefit. So, number 2, the look of it. The look of this seat is you just can't beat it. It totally changes the bike. So when you put the seat on it, it makes the bike look awesome. The stock seats on Harleys usually suck, especially this year range, anywhere from early 2000 Dynas and stuff like that. The seats are horrible. So the look of this thing is just killer. It totally finished the bike off when I bolted it on, because it was the last piece that I did. That's the second pro. And let's see, for number 3, which is kind of a little bit different opinions for different people, but for me, it was the cost. I know it seems high at first. It's kind of like a shell shock on the cost. I think this one I bought was right at $400, maybe a little more. I'll have to double check. But if you look at some of the other custom seat options out there, the Saddlemen is several $100s cheaper. I know there's a couple different brands that are similar with a step up, and like Corbin, for instance, Corbin has their own kind of version of the step up, and it is way more expensive. Now theirs, I think, are a little more customizable, but not much. So that's the third pro, is the cost. I feel like these seats are very affordable, and there's tons of them that are used out there that people sell. You can get even better deals on. So those are the pros to having the Saddlemen Step Up. I think all 3 of those are great. I think they're worth having the seat. If I could go back, would I get a different seat? Probably not. So that being said, let's start with the 3 cons. And I think these are kind of different, because when I was looking at getting this seat, there was no cons out there hardly. There was, all of them were positive, which is great. But come on, there's got to be something that's not good about the seat, right? I think you can find the bad stuff in any product. Now, that being said, I'm not trying to, point out the bads in the seat and point out. I'm just trying to let other people know, because had I known 1 or 2 of these, cons before I bought the seat, it might have made my decision a little bit different when it came to buying a certain seat. So, con number 1 is the lower back support in this thing. Although it is awesome, and it definitely pushes on your butt way better than any other seat that I've ever rode on, it almost seems like it's lacking by about an inch. It's kind of weird. I'm sure most people will know what I'm talking about, that ride on the Saddlemen Step Up, but if they raise the back of it up like another inch, it would be right in that sweet spot on your lower back, to it would be totally supportive. Now, I'm not saying it's not supportive. It is supportive compared to the stock seat, but it's if I could wave a wand, I would add an inch of foam to the back, to the height on your lower back on the rider seat. I personally feel like that would just totally make this seat and make a huge difference. All right, con number 2. The other day I rode to work, and it was raining outside, and I left my bike out in the rain. No big deal. I do it all the time. Well, I dried my leather seat off. It stopped raining. I worked overnight, so the next morning my seat was dry, because I dried it off with a towel before I rode. So the leather covering was dry, and when I actually got on it and started riding, my ass got wet. So I was like, what the heck? And I realized that, I guess because all the stitchings in this seat, it was not 100% waterproof. So what I'm assuming happened was the water soaked through the stitching or the leather material. I'm not 100% if it's waterproof or not. You know, most stock Harley seats, in my experience, are waterproof. You know, they're more like a pleather material, but they're still waterproof. That being said, that kind of sucked. You know, if your bike's sitting out in the rain and you know, wipe your seat off, dry it, and it still soaks on your butt from the foam being wet. I mean, that kind of sucks on this pricey of a seat. So that is my second con. The seats need to be more waterproof. Now, I don't know if that's possible with all the stitching. You'd almost have to like wax the seams all the time, which, I mean, I understand that might be a little unreachable, unobtainable, but that's just another con that, you know, it would have been nice to know. It maybe would have changed my decision on the stitching option that I got. You know, I would have went with the smooth leather with no stitching because of that reason. You know, my bike sits out in the rain a lot, and if I get on it after the rain to ride, it sucks to have a wet ass for that long. So my last con, and this is the biggest one, I feel this is definitely the game changer. This one would be a reason 100% if I could go back, I would get another seat or get a different one. The rider seat cushion, the back part for your rider, is horrible. I ride 2-up a lot with a wife. She loves to ride. You know, with all the kids that we have, that's like our date day. You know, get the babysitter, get the nanny, and let's go for a ride. We do it all the time. This seat for her, and I've actually have another buddy that his wife said the same exact thing. It is like, I mean, after about an hour riding, you know, it'll bring tears. The rear seat is not good at all for 2-up riding. Now, if you're like a 15-20 minute 2-up rider, you know, bar hopper, you know, taco night or whatever, that's fine. But if you're anything over 40 minutes, an hour riding with a passenger, it's horrible. If you actually look at the seat, and this was kind of deceiving from the pictures when I was researching this seat, when you actually get it and bolted up, the back of the seat, the passenger, is actually sloped like down towards the rear tire. So naturally, when the rider sits on it, my wife is like, she constantly has to hold herself forward because naturally with the slope of the seat, she wants to slide off the back, which, you know, I think is a horrible design, especially if you're going to make a step up 2-up seat. You know, put a big pad back there. I think you could still make it look cool. I know that's a big part of their, you know, options, and a big part of the research is making the seat look cool but also function right. But I mean, make the back section of the seat straight, make it straight across, make it an inch wider on each side, and make it flat. You know, that would be huge, and I don't think it would change the look that much. But yeah, that's the third con. The passenger seat on this Corbin, or not Corbin, but this Saddlemen Step Up is horrible. Not recommended. And I mean, to the point of when I ride with the wife now, I actually have to put my stock seat back on so she can be comfortable, which is completely horrible because the stock seat is so uncomfortable for myself. So that being said, that is the third con for the Saddlemen Step Up seat. Now, like I said, I have 1,000 miles on this seat. I love it. It's for the money, you know, and the budget. I mean, you can't really get anything to match it. So I hope you guys take that information and, you know, it helps with your choice. With the cons and all, I feel like I wish I would have heard some of those before. Also, secondly, if you guys have been around for a while, I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the new subscribers. Appreciate the comments. It's been awesome. I mean, the boys have enjoyed it. Now, if you have been around for a while, I promise you, in a couple days, the part 4 treehouse video will be out soon. I promise. I've had a lot of people comment and ask me where it is. We've had a lot of changes going on the farm and in life in general, and I'll share all those on the next video with you guys on part 4 of the treehouse build. But like I said, thanks for all the love, guys. We love you. Stay tuned for the next videos. I hope everybody stays safe and healthy out there. Dad Life FXD out.